MovieWeb.com.
One of the things that really floored me about this film, and I think you were putting this in there on purpose, was the imagery. Some of the disjointed images that come just out of the blue, and they're mixing in with the story, and it really catches you by surprise, you know, the Nazi imagery and so on. What was your logic in intersplicing that in the film? What you were looking for?
Well, it was all personal. When I'd written the entire script, I've explained to some people that it sort of did write itself. I mean, that sounds a bit preposterous, but it did more or less write itself. I mean, I guided it a little. But I start off with the objective of just writing it without making a statement or political or sociological or philosophical. And I had no anxiety about it. I didn't even know I'd make it a film. It was a personal little journey for me. But however, when I finished it, I wrote a whole blueprint of editing that I wanted to do. And especially when the young girl is talking about karma and talking about New Age stuff, you know. And she talks about cleaning up our side of the street and doing this and that, and then we're all responsible, our karma is. And my take on life is, tell that to the millions of people who went down the tube, as you know, in the last century. Innocent people throughout the centuries. Were they responsible for that? No. I don't believe that New Age stuff. And I may be wrong, but I doubt it. And so I wanted to put on that because I remember that period of my life. I'm going to be 70 at the end of the year, and I remember the end of the war. I remember Hitler, I remember all the destruction and the horrors. And that has been in my consciousness all those years. Not that I live it, but I'm aware of it. And I'm kind of dismayed that many people don't even remember that history, or the new generation aren't even aware of it. And then they think that's dangerous. It gets us into the political mess that the nations are in today. You know, it's nobody thinks beyond, you know, celebrity dancing anymore.
People forget what happened 10 years ago as much as 50 years ago.
Exactly.
All right, so you have this tremendous cast: John Turturro, Fiona Flanagan, Michael Clark Duncan. When you have a veteran actor like yourself directing other veteran actors in a film like this, is there just a level where everyone operates on, or do you actually have to get down and direct them as you would, let's say, a first-year actor?
No, not at all. I mean, Cameron Manheim, for example, she just improvised. I mean, I gave them the text and they stayed to the text of the script, but I said to Cameron, you know, do whatever you want to do within that situation. And she, and John Turturro the same. Christian Slater, exactly the same. They all were. Michael Clark Duncan gives an amazing performance to this. And also Christian Slater, they stuck very close to the script because I think they were quite well structured scenes, so they didn't need to improvise. But Christian, for example, just took over the film at that point when in the diner, when he hijacked it. He knocked 2 days out of my schedule, which was just fantastic because he's so skilled and such a committed actor. I didn't have to direct him at all. You know, I said, okay, go for it. And I said, make sure we pick up everything he does. And he was wonderful. And so is Michael Clark Duncan and Jeffrey Tambor and people like that. Cameron Manheim, Pathan Murkison. Wonderful performances. I didn't have to direct them.
There's a lot of humor that caught me by surprise in this film, especially when there are these people on set and everyone's doing their own thing, and there's confusion and chaos, and there's egos and everything bumping together. Is this kind of like what you've seen in your years as an actor on set? Is this kind of like akin to experiences in the past?
Oh yeah, I've been on sets, but it's insane. I mean, you think we ought to be taken to the asylum. There's some crazy people around. I mean, and they're interesting. I mean, there've never been bad experiences, but you get people on set who shout and scream at people. That's never pleasant, because they always pick on the people who cannot fight back. The crew, members of the props department or the wardrobe, they were the ones who suffer. And I don't have time for that when people bully. But also I've worked with directors, one or two, who live in total chaos. They haven't done any preparation, and they're scared of the actors, and that's why Gavin Grace is so good in this. And his big brother happens to be Brian Grace, the producer. So that relationship worked well. But yeah, generally I think it is amusing, and actors take themselves very seriously sometimes. So it's a little tongue-in-cheek poke at all of us, you know, and we all take it too seriously sometimes. Now, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, taking things seriously, but sometimes I'd like to say, come on. Especially when people get ulcers, or, you know, they make themselves ill with worry. It's only a movie. And in any business, you know, if you're taking, because life is more important and your health is more important than acting. And I've come close to that myself, where I've been asked to do something which is physically dangerous or demanding of my body, and I've suffered the effects of it. Moments of almost amnesia, and, you know, and crisis. And I refuse to do that anymore. I don't believe that it's necessary for an actor to do that. And Christian Slater is a case in point in this film, where Ray dies from overacting. But it's light-hearted. It's not meant to be an insult, because I've had a wonderful life as an actor.